Tensions are high in the Middle East, with reports that Iran activated its air defenses at a major airbase and a nuclear site after spotting drones. The attack took place near the city of Isfahan, about 450 kilometers south of Tehran, and are suspected to be part of an Israeli attack in retaliation for Tehran's unprecedented attack on Israel last weekend. There has been no official confirmation from either Iran or Israel. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said this morning that the United States has not been involved in any offensive operations.
What we're focused on, what the G7 is focused on, and again, it's reflected in our statement and in our conversation, is our work to de-escalate tensions, to de-escalate from any potential conflict.
And CTV's Scott Hurst is following the story for us. Scott, we know that the world is watching these developments extremely closely. What can you tell us about the reactions coming in?
Akshay, good morning. A potentially dangerous escalation in a widening Middle East conflict. And as we heard right there from U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, we're getting initial reaction from G7 foreign ministers who had been meeting at the time in Italy. And as you heard, the U.S. reportedly saying it got last-minute information about the attack from Israel, but U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken denying any U.S. involvement in the attack, as Israel reportedly striking Iran in a drone attack overnight in what appears to be a retaliatory strike after weeks of escalating tension between the two countries. Iranian state media reporting overnight explosions near the central city of Isfahan, which is home to a large airbase, a major missile production complex, and several nuclear facilities as well. The global nuclear watchdog says no nuclear sites were damaged, but the IAEA says it continues to call for extreme restraint. Here's more reaction from retired Major General Dennis Thompson.
It's quite limited if indeed it's over. This could be just a test of the Iranian air defense system, or this could be Israel's response. And let's hope it's the latter and not the former.
And actually, as you mentioned, this comes less than a week after Iran launched hundreds of missiles and drones at Israel in retaliation for an Israeli attack on its diplomatic compound in Syria. So, as I mentioned at the very beginning, this is all part of a potentially dangerous escalation in a widening Middle East conflict.
Indeed. We also know, of course, many foreign ministers, like you were pointing out, have reacted to these developments. They're watching it closely. Here in Canada, also a reaction has come in. What can you tell us about that?
Actually, Foreign Affairs Minister Mélanie Joly is also at that G7 meeting of foreign ministers, and she posted on social media about the attack, saying, in light of these strikes reported in Iran and following our meeting this morning, I join my G7 colleagues in urging all parties to work to prevent further escalation. But going on in a communique from the G7 ministers saying they continue to renew their solidarity with Israel, calling Iran's recent escalation an unprecedented step.
Right.
And so G7 ministers are reacting, are reaching out, as the entire region, of course. This is something that has been a threat for many months now, but as we see more and more escalations, this is all part of a concern of a widening conflict, far more than just the war between Israel and Hamas, Akshay.
That's correct. CTV's Scott Hurst following the developments. Thank you for this, Scott.
Thank you.